reservation. The devil in my phone, he wanna talk, but I'm not really up for conversations. I can have my cake and eat it too. I just gotta make a reservation. Chilling in my head, but it's hot. Flames everywhere, I see Satan. Demons try to run up in my spot a lot. Really running out of patience. Taking all these meds to the face, get me flying. Taking all these meds to the face, get me dying. Smoke till my life flying. Eyes red, high and crying. None of pain while I see in Dior, yeah, pricey. Juice like Tupac Shakur, no iced tea. Givenchy, Louis V, Double V, icy. Wedding ring, better things, better have wifey. Only things numbing me from this hard life. The devil in my phone, he wanna talk, but I'm not really up for conversations. I can have my cake and eat it too. I just gotta make a reservation. Chilling in my head, but it's hot. Flames everywhere, I see Satan. Demons try to run up in my spot a lot. Really running out of patience. Devil in my phone, he wanna talk, but I'm not really up for conversations. I can have my cake and eat it too. I just gotta make a reservation. Chilling in my head, but it's hot. Flames everywhere, I see Satan. Demons try to run up in my spot a lot. Really running out of patience. Waiting, sitting up, waiting, contemplating. My heart racing, feels like I'ma die every second of the day. I gotta get high. In the coming down, why? My anxiety bring me down, that's the fucking downside. It's like every time I fall, I just end up offside. This light of mine goes dim tonight. Will I be alright? There's no answer. The devil in my phone, he wanna talk, but I'm not really up for conversations. I can have my cake and eat it too. I just gotta make a reservation. Chilling in my head, but it's hot. Flames everywhere, I see Satan. Demons try to run up in my spot a lot. Really running out of patience. Alrighty, good morning everyone. What up? Let me know real quick how the background audio is. I can never quite get it right. I hope everyone's doing well. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another week of Is It Uptober Yet? It looks like it might be. What a vibe this morning. We love the green candles, or in my case, white candles. Can we just start off by admiring this? Can we just do this first? Alright, let me pull up chat.
No more dips in this super cycle. Man, there's gonna be dips, but we're in my opinion, let me pull up a chart real quick that reminds me of this price action a lot on altcoins, on specifically like the in name or whatever you want to call it, in brand altcoins. It reminds me of trading SUI last year in Q4. It reminds me of this hellscape. I was turbo bullish on SUI down here on the daily trend flip, but my god, was this cancerous to trade for like 2 months. This was absolute AIDS. And in my opinion, a lot of altcoins are experiencing this. The like not so hot ones. Like during this, Solana was going crazy, INJ was going crazy, Caspa was going crazy, but certain alts that were like not in the spotlight were just doing this. And this is what I think a lot of alts are doing at the moment, where they're marking up, they're kind of puking, they're chopping around, but they're chopping upwards. So it's rewarding people that can recognize trend shift and position themselves on like a high time frame basis and just relax. That's what I believe a lot of coins are doing. The ones that I have marked in pink on the side, the ones that I've been talking about with like 2-3 weeks for you guys, right? You know, FTM, kind of similar story, right? It's chopping upwards. You know, say similar story. So many alts, but we'll get into these in a minute. Let me scroll up in chat quickly, make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the music, by the way. Skeller is the GOAT. I don't know if Magus introduced me to Skeller or not. He may have, like a year or two ago. I can't remember, but yeah, man, I fuck with Skeller. Good morning, Sam. Can I chart Ina? Yeah, sure. Your balls deep. Sandwich is here. Big fan, dude. I'm a big fan of Sam too. Sam is sooner or later gonna get his own cult meme coin because of the way that he literally has a cult on CT. Anytime I'm like in a conversation with Sam, like out come 4 people posting sandwich memes. What am I buying tomorrow on the dip? First of all, good morning, Magus. Bro, you're buying college admission. Just kidding, man. I mean, I know you're not asking me seriously, but holy shit, there are some options. Probably Saga. I'm not gonna lie. Insane coil up expansion. As long as this doesn't fully BART retrace right back into this value, this is a dip buyer that can go nutty. This stream finna top the mark the top, dude. So a little bit of lore for you guys. I don't know if you've seen me post that the meme from Shogun with the like I forget what they call it, seppuku, right? The sword through the stomach, like suicide beheading thing. Jingo made me that meme with my profile picture and like a bobo. And I think 3 for 3 when I posted that was a local top, so I made sure not to tweet that this morning. Dude, we're so caffeinated. While I was playing the intro music, I made myself an espresso. I'm almost done with the espresso. I'm feeling a little jittery already. Do you look at time frame for a top, or do you watch sentiment? Man, a lot of it is chart based, but there are times when I do read between the tea leaves and try to action by fading the masses. But that's very few. I'd say like 3 times a year, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. People try to do this every single day. People try to like do sentiment analysis all the time. People are actually obsessed with this, right? The fear and greed meter, and this guy said this and that guy said that, and this guy's long and this guy's short, and oh my god, this guy's my counter signal. I think all of that is extremely mid-curve, in my opinion. I think there's only a few times a year where you should actually actively counter people, if you know what you're doing. Most of the time, it just pays to stay with the crowd. Most of the time, right? Especially in a trending environment. People are saying up. Well, they're saying up for a reason. It's because numbers going up. If you can identify, and I've done this for you guys in streams before, it's even timestamped, so for those of you guys that watch my streams often, you'll be aware of this, but I've talked about many times how to identify the difference between a ranging market and a trending market, and the tools that I use. And obviously in a ranging market, you don't want to be the guy that's bullish at range high and bearish at range low, but when you're breaking out of that environment, right, and you're like, oh my god, everyone's bullish, well, duh, it's fucking going up and it's trending up. So only a few times a year. I feel like a lot of altcoins would do this vertical choppy up move like Sui, and we go crazy too. Yeah, 100%, dude. One of the things from my Q4 journal last year, like, by the way, Q4 of last year was one of my like top learning moments and like progression moments as a trader. I learned so much from that environment. That was my first time trading a market that was extremely risk on, like irrationally risk on, right? And I learned a lot from that environment last year in Q4. And one of the things was like this idea of getting perfect entries, because when you're in a range bound environment, you really want to be tight, right, with your entries and stops. When you're in a trending environment, it's more about just like holding on, buying the dips, not TPing unless you have an absolute reason to do so, right? And kind of just like, it's cringe to say, but it's like believe in something. You come to crypto for the irrationality. That's why we're all here. We're all here because we step into the market and we think to ourselves, man, I want to hit that 10x and I want to hit that 100x. And, you know, I know you guys know this, but it's like not as easy as it sounds. But at the same time, when you're in crypto for a while, you lose that imagination, and you start going, oh man, this is, you know, I need to cut this, and I need a TP here and whatever. And it's at a certain point in certain environments, you need to just kind of hold on to those entries and not chop yourself up in an uptrend and have every single puke be like, it's fucking over. Because, I saw this a lot. In myself, in my friends, last year in Q4, is like every little dip was like, man, what if that was the top? And, you know, having a simple system and ignoring your kind of emotional sentiment will really help you navigate that. Any thoughts on Aptos? I'll do alts in a minute, man. If I start off the stream by like doing altcoin requests, the whole thing just evolves in altcoin requests, and I can never get back on topic. I took profit today on perps. It's over. I also took profits on perps today, but that's just so I have ammo for dips. Also, I mean, can we at least take a second to be happy about this? We haven't had many moves on Bitcoin that are like 12% in 3 days, right? Kind of nice. And this 12% move was met with altcoins going 30, 40, 50%. Right? Like, look at Popcat. This thing probably put in a monster, 40% move. So we've been eating good. Where are you located? Nice try, Fed. Sam beat me to it. Tox viewership looking bullish. What are we at today? The peak, I want to say, was like 170 a couple weeks ago, which was fucking sick. Where we at right now? 130? That's sick too. By the way, that reminds me, if you guys could drop a like, that'd be cool. cool. That'd be cool. I see nobody talking about Radium and People, but when I look at the charts, I feel Mogan bullish, probably the top. I'll take a look at those coins in a minute. I heard Paragon is a vibe. It is a vibe, man. Does Matic... Actually, that's one I wanted to look at. Funny enough, like, I haven't looked at Matic in so long, but I actually do want to look at it. I'm in this space for the tech. Ah, thanks. Magus beat me to it. Yeah, hit the like, guys. Thanks, Magus. What do you think about the Harry Potter Sonic run? Oh, with the run that SPX is having. Yeah, I'll look at it in a minute, man. I think one thing that's different is clearly HPOS is broken out of the range that it's been in for a long time. All right, I'll pull it up now because I'm interested in this one. Let's go to the weekly. So this time is unironically different, right? This thing has been stuck in a range since over a year, right? This is August of last year. We're in October. So over a year of ranging, big breakout. Literally, if you want to play this coin, you just don't want it to drop back in range. That's literally it. Like, any dip in here is for buying and speculating on upside if this is a coin that you want to buy. And that's it. Just don't drop back in the range. You don't spend a year ranging, breaking out, and then giving people a perfect retest of that range or dropping back in that range. If it does this shit's fucked, and it's probably going to come back down to here again. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any thoughts as far as like valuation or targets or market cap targets or flippening. Harry Potter, whatever, is not a coin that I pay too much attention to. This is a coin that I was mega bullish on last year, straight up. I bought like down here on the run up, and actually held through this thing, I think, and sold on this like double top, right? When it like ran this high. This actually happened on stream. I don't know how many of you guys remember this. There's probably like 2 of you guys maybe here that were on this stream last year, but we saw this wick live on stream. And I actually didn't take any profits on this one because I thought it was going to rip a lot higher. Ended up selling it like on this retrace, and I haven't looked back, like, and I'm glad I haven't, because what an opportunity cost waste this coin would have been. Put money to much better use than Harry Potter over the last year. If you click, nice try, Jingo. No, click the like. Crypto George, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Do you think the supply at 65 or 70K will hold? Yeah, look, hold me to that. I'm almost caught up with chat, but I almost never talk about Bitcoin anymore on the streams other than high time frame. And the reason for that is simply because alts are so much fun to trade right now. It's like, why do I care? There are altcoins that have not cared about Bitcoin too much over the last month, like Sui and Popcat, etc. And I think more in Tau, and I think more and more coins are going to enter that category soon. So that's where my focus has been on, and I haven't really paid attention too much about like local levels on Bitcoin or anything like that. I basically just try to look at Bitcoin for like, hey, I think Bitcoin's bottomed here, which, you know, I was shouting out on the timeline last week. 2 things, right? I wanted to see Bitcoin's 1-hour trend, which was the trend that dominated us on the way down, right? Look at all this, look at this price action just completely rejecting by the hourly trend. And I was saying, look, if we run these lows and pop back in, I want to be long alts, right? With the speculation that this low run was the bottom, and that's exactly what I did. So that's really the only time I look at Bitcoin now, is just for reference on altcoin entries. But back to your question, do you think we hit supply at 65 or 70? Let me tell you honestly, the way that this has rounded out over the last 6 months, right? And I've been a broken record saying this for months now. We've been absorbing bearish catalyst after bearish, like bears have had so many things on their side to cause a momentum spark to the downside. Anytime you're in a trending market or like one party of the market is in control, like bears have been in absolute control of altcoins for months. We cannot deny, right? Look at any altcoin on your list. Like, pull up, like, any coin, right? They've been in absolute dominant control of altcoins for months, right? That has not been the case on Bitcoin. Every single one of these catalyst fuel pukes that we've gotten on Bitcoin has been bought up, right? Israel, Iran, part 1. Germany, Gox, Silk Road selling. The Japan yen carry trade. Equities corrections, right? Israel, Iran, part 2. So, reading between the tea leaves here, they're not able to break Bitcoin down. And through this lens, what you're seeing altcoins do is starting to round out, right? You're seeing them, they had their markup, they had their markdown, they put in their accumulation ranges. They're now flipping high time frame EMAs, and they're trying to put in fresh, bullish daily market structure carried by daily trends. This is the schematic that I use on altcoins, and I've used for over a year. I've talked about this with you guys all summer. So in this environment that we're in this environment that we're building up into, with bears unable to do much with Bitcoin to the downside, right? I think, the reaction that we got off of Israel, Iran, and the buyback that we got is extremely bullish. So, in my opinion, it's not going to be a situation, and this is just gut feel, right? This is nothing to do with charts, to be honest. I think if we start trading into the 70s, people will look at this as a de-risking zone, and let me short range highs, and let me short range highs, and let me de-risk, and let me de-risk, and let me short. I think there's a possibility that we can kind of range and coil in here, and then one candle blow through all these lower highs. That's my current bias, is that we are building up steam and building up steam and building up steam, that all of these highs are probably going to get ran in one candle. Whether that's one daily candle or one weekly candle, really doesn't matter. Like, one quick move is probably going to rip through all these highs. So, yeah, if we're talking about an intraday trade, intra-week trade, do you want to de-risk at highs? Of course, you can do all these things. You can take profits on your alts if they're up 20% or more on the day. But I'm more focused on the high time frame picture, the big picture, the thing that we're all here in crypto for, the trending market, right? And I really believe all of this has just been coiling and coiling and coiling. This whole thing has been rounding out at this bottom. Combine this with some weekly levels, right? The 58K level from last cycle, the 58.5K level where we nuked every single time from this level. This is where we got our brutal, devastating nukes both times in the double bubble. This time around, every time we trade below 58K, it's not only met with negative news, it's met with an insane buyback. So we didn't really have negative news in these areas. Well, I guess you had like China banning Bitcoin or whatever, or China miners or something in this area. But it was pretty euphoric up here. It was pretty euphoric up here. What are we seeing up here? It's kind of like a bear market vibes for several months. It's been bear market vibes. Altcoins are down brutally. We're getting negative catalysts, and every visit under 58K is being bought up. So I think all of this is getting like bearish exhaustion, and we're kind of coiling up for bulls. And I honestly think all of these get ran in a swift move. The thing that we're missing in crypto right now is a spark, right? Now, last year, it was kind of the same thing. Let's go back to like last summer, right? This is why I've been calling this year the Matrix, man. I feel like I'm living in a simulation because everything is playing out so far like 2023. It's actually mind-blowing. But while we were in this area in August and September after our massive nuke, we were just kind of coiling up and coiling up and coiling up. And what happened? We got a spark, and that spark was the Cointelegraph headline, which was a fake news headline that said like the BlackRock ETF was approved. And obviously that retraced, but what happened is it reminded people that they were underexposed, and this is probably going to get approved anyways in a few months, and they should probably build up that exposure. And bears had already been exhausted, right? Bulls were already starting to push through. Alts were already starting to bottom. Alts were already starting to grind up. And then we got that spark, which just sent shockwaves through the markets, right? And we got super risk on after that. We're missing that spark, and I don't know what that spark's going to be. I really don't know, but it could be anything, right? Because if bearish news can't break us down, I think bullish news is going to send us up. So that's where I stand on that, on like Bitcoin at the moment. Oh boy, I gotta scroll up a bit. Afraid to buy today. I think you should more or less be afraid to buy on Giga strong days, but when you get that gut feeling on like red days, when you're like, man, this shit's gonna go to fucking zero, and you're scared on those days, that's when you should buy. We've been saying this for a while, right? Like, if you even just go back and look at my stream titles, right, they've been pretty on point for the past month, right? We called bottom, wall of worry, right? Basically saying that this was the bottom, right? If we can't make a lower low, and this could in fact be our potential first higher low, that this could in fact be the bottom, right? Given all that we've overcome already. And then I called the next part the wall of worry. And the wall of worry is basically we're going to grind upwards, and every negative event is going to put the fear of God in people. And lo and behold, that's what we got right here, right? We're grinding upwards. We got a bearish event where we puked that put the fear of God in people. And that's like, generally speaking, that's what the wall of worry is, right? You're grinding upwards and you're terrified on the way upwards to fucking get exposure to the market that you log into every day, stare at charts every day, want to buy every day, daydream about making money on these coins because you're bullish on this bullish on this industry every day. But as things go up, you go, fuck, man, I don't want to buy this shit. My first stream. Welcome, brother. Happy to have you here. I'm down 20% on PEPE from a few months ago. Would you sell now or buy more on dips? Buy more on dips. If you're new here, you probably don't know, but I think a lot of people that have known me for a little bit know that I'm more bullish on PEPE than any other coin in this market, and I have been since over here. Yeah, it's as simple as that. I think PEPE is like, before people were talking about the meme coin super cycle, before people were talking about anything, before Solana shitcoining started, before Solana took over and meme coin started, before any of this, I was calling for for PEPE to flip SHIB last summer in June and May, right? Like, this is where I was putting out those tweets that PEPE would flip SHIB. So I'm more bullish on PEPE than anything. I wouldn't tell you to sell for a loss. If you're overexposed to this and you're not comfortable holding that much, maybe de-risk a little bit, or maybe like remove some of that so you can sleep comfortably at night, and learn from that. And maybe don't in the future don't overly expose yourself to coins that you're not comfortable holding in drawdown, right? Ask yourself, what are my plans for this coin? If it goes down, what am I going to do? If it goes up, what am I going to do? And have those plans laid out for yourself weeks and months in advance, so that when those moments happen, you know what to do because you've planned for them, and not just kind of make spur of the moment decisions based on the current environment, right? What are the fundamentals on HPOS? The ticker is Bitcoin. Those are the fundamentals. Literally. I think that was the original meme. The ticker is literally Bitcoin. Yeah, have a good one, Mag. Need to record some stuff for Para. Nice, dude. Look forward to it. Do you have an internal deadline for 2025 where you'll sell your... No. I don't care about dates. Price action is king. Look, I didn't think... Little lesson from here. When we were down here, I was not a bull, right? I wasn't. I was bearish at this top. I was actually extremely vocally bearish at this top. Like, I'd sold everything. I'd sold everything in March. On the way up, I'd bought PEPE. I actually came back and longed the bottom. I didn't really buy any spot, but I longed the bottom. And I was super bearish right here. I was like, this seems like the top is in, right? This is your SFPing the yearly highs into resistance with a bullish headline. This bullish headline was like BlackRock files for an ETF, right? We puked, and down in these lows, I wasn't like a turbo bull. I had to turn turbo bull over here. This is where I was like, oh my god, right? I'm also underexposed. I need to like flip to being a bull. I didn't think back here that we would go to 70K by, you know, March of 2024. So what good did planning for a date do me at any point, right? It did nothing. I didn't think along this rally we were going to get all the way up there. But when we got up here, the top was much more evident, right? And up here, I wasn't thinking, oh my god, we're going to blast off straight into fucking 190K, right? And I even said, like, up in here, hey, this could range for a long time. I did a lot of tweets on this scenario, which I'm blessed to have read this market so well for so long, right? I've gotten a lot of things wrong over the years, but the read has been pretty damn good this year. So coming back to your question, like, is there a date? I don't think it does anything good for me, right? It doesn't do anything for me to try to predict a date by, like, this is when the cycle is going to top. So no, I'm not going to be doing any of that. What's up, Jay? Yeah, I hope you're doing well, brother. Can you discuss the origins of how you heard about, not Pepe coin? So I just want to correct you, not Pepe coin, Pepe. There's two different coins, so not Pepe coin. That thing's a piece of shit. But Pepe, yeah. Origins? I don't know. I had a homie in the Discord tell me about it at like 1 million market cap. He was like, dude, this thing could run. It was like 1 million and 2 million and 5 million. He kept on saying it could run, it could run, it could run, it could run. It got to 100 million and got listed on MEXC, and that's when I bought it. And I was basically, the thesis was, this is the most used meme on the internet. This is the most used meme on Twitch, on Discord, in crypto. It is the actual mascot of crypto. It's the meme we post all the time, everywhere. It deserves to be in a spot higher than SHIB. SHIB means nothing. Who the fuck has ever used a SHIB meme? So that was the simple thesis, bro. It was super simple. Very, very left curve. I've always had trouble with my stop losses getting hit on alts due to Bitcoin being shaky. Any tips? I think that's an experience thing, brother. I don't think that's an easy answer to give in like a couple words or less. I would have to know how you're trading. I would have to know your thought process. I would have to know the setups that you're taking. I'd have to know where you're putting your stops and why. There's so much to that's not something that I could easily answer for you in a minute or two, right? I'd literally need to see the setups that you're taking, and where you're placing your stops to give you advice on that, or not advice, but like to help you out on that. What do you think about retracements on weekdays and ripping through the weekends as it has been the past 2 weeks? So going back to like Q4 of last year as well, this was a common dynamic where we would rip on weekends, right? We would like rip on, we would get bullish. So like, let's call this, should I just type this out? So we would do this thing where basically like Monday would start off hot, Tuesday, Wednesday would sell off, Wednesday or Thursday would be the bottom of the week. We would kind of crab, and then we'd be bullish going into like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? We would do kind of this situation where we like push early week, sell off midweek, and then pump into the weekend. And sometimes the weekends were good and we'd pump higher, and sometimes the weekends were just like crabby and rangy and stuff like that. These would vary, but like intra-week, this was the dynamic that we saw a lot of. And a lot of this is people get very hyper bullish on weekends. We flush some of those people out. We get those dips. We buy the dip. We get, we rip once again. People get a lot of FOMO on Friday, Saturday, right? More time, not at work, not at their jobs, whatever. They buy coins on the weekends. Things get really pumpy. People, bid super hard on perps. Maybe funding gets a bit frothy. We rinse some of those people out, rinse and repeat. This was the dynamic that we saw a lot in Q4. So now whether or not that's going to start playing out once again, I couldn't tell you. But it more or less happened last week. The only difference is there was a little bit of headlines and stuff like that going on at the same time. So we'll have to see. Give it a few more weeks, and then, I'll have a better read on that. Good morning, Nexus. I don't know if I already said good morning to you, but I saw your message a little bit ago. Good morning, man. Hope you're having a good one. Hope you're enjoying your chai. Do you get all the Clinic and Paragon indicators when joining Paragon? Yes, sir. They're all available to you. All the indicators, templates. You can get access to my templates, the spaghetti charts, Magus's templates, Charlie's templates, portfolio updates, trade ideas, education, streams, outlooks, an educational series by me, an educational series by Charlie, Magus. Dude, there's so much in there. That'll be my one Paragon shill for the stream. It's a Trump win the spring. Yeah, that could be the thing, right? If Trump wins the election, that's definitely the spark for risk on in my opinion. Will current outperformers continue to outperform? The simple thing, and this sounds really dumb, but outperformers continue to outperform until they stop outperforming. What I mean by that is, if strength is there, continue bidding the dip on strength until you stop getting that reaction on those dip buys, right? So if every time SUI gets a pullback, you get another higher high, right? And you get a really strong push, and every time it gets a dip and you get a pullback, if it's just doing this, right? Eventually, this is gonna like round out. Let me get rid of this. Right? Eventually, every time you get these dips, it's not going to be as strong, right? And it'll start ranging, and it'll start doing something like this, or maybe the pumps are weaker and weaker and weaker. So an outperformer is going to continue to be an outperformer until it's no longer an outperformer. And it's better not to predict these things, but it's better to react to these things. So yeah, that's simple. Like it just don't be a predictor on things in crypto. Like there's very few people in crypto that can actionably predict things to a high degree of success. The rest of us are not so gifted in our forecasting. We're not all GCR, right? So just, reacting to what's out there is much better. I think if Sol clears 170, it's all-time high for sure. I think that's possible. Why do you dislike Pepe coin? For reasons I don't want to say on stream, to be honest. It's just personal preference, right? To each their own. Everyone can buy whatever they want to buy. You're entitled to support whatever you want to support. It's just personal preference for me. There's history there, but we don't want to talk about that shit on stream, man. Is SHIB one of these VC meme coins? I really don't know. I don't know how SHIB works, to be honest. Do you think memes have topped for now? I think... Let's look at this. So, SPX 69,000 or 6,900 should be our risk barometer. In my opinion, when SHIB... And I'll put this on log so it's a little bit easier to see. Excuse me, I said SHIB. When SPX 69,000 starts losing the 4-hour trend, probably a local top on a lot of these meme coins. All right, we can kind of do the same thing with like a POO, right? This is the same situation as like, it's just trending along the 4-hour trend. When we lose the 4-hour trend on a POO, probably going to be a local top. Like a trend is going to trend. A trend is your friend until the trend ends, so... Again, same theme, right? I think I've answered this question in 3 different ways, or I've given this answer for 3 different questions. Is basically don't worry so much about predicting, just react, right? And a simple tool you can use is just 4-hour trend. So let's go back to SPX. Since this coin was really the leader on the market, right? I think, and what naturally happens, guys, in these parabolic moves, like moves that go like this, it's probably not gonna burge like that. What it'll do, let's like pretend this is a local top, right? Let's say this is a local top. What it's gonna do is do something like this and have another leg, and wherever this leg leads to, this is the top. So yes, there will be a local top on coins like this. They will have a retrace, and they'll have a second kind of god pump, and then that'll be like a proper top. All right. I'm gonna get focused real quick. There's a couple more things I wanted to say. I gotta start structuring my streams better, to be honest, so that I get kind of everything I want to say on the stream out of the way, and then we go and talk and answer questions. Maybe I should be a little bit more disciplined when it comes to that. Okay, so others. I've been shouting about others for... I've been using this chart for fucking 6-8 months now. $240 billion on others is my line in the sand. This is where altcoins absolutely drastically fell apart last cycle. 240 billion, right? It was a local top earlier this year. Look at the reaction we got when we broke above this. We tried to hold it as support, confluent with the weekly trend. Once we lost it, this is when altcoins absolutely dissociated from Bitcoin. A lot of them were holding up pretty strong. Altcoins got brutalized while Bitcoin kept holding its like 60K range. This happened sometime in June, right? And I think that's when people really started feeling the heat. We were, very, very bullish until June. A lot of people were still bullish in May and June and stuff like that. This is when altcoins fell apart. We put in our accumulation at the recent lows. And the most bullish thing happening recently is we're putting in bullish market structure on the daily, on the weekly, and we're reclaiming the weekly downtrend, right? So look at the last few weeks. Blasted through the weekly trend, rejection at 240 billion. The last 2 weekly candles have left wicks below and closed above. When we get back above 240 billion on others, I think altcoins are going to go absolutely crazy once again. That's when like the proper like grind up starts into the next parabola, right? Right above 240 billion. That is my line in the sand for others. And the reason I look at this chart is because it helps me just quickly give my bias on pretty much all altcoins, right? A lot of people want to know, what is my altcoin going to do and what is this altcoin going to do? For the most part, and listen to this part carefully, for the most part, your altcoin is going to perform the same as another altcoin unless your altcoin has something specifically in its... Let me say this again. Unless your altcoin has a specific catalyst going for it. Unless your coin is like an AI coin in a secular AI bull market with NVIDIA leading, or a specific meme coin that fits a specific niche, like you're the first, schizo coin with like Remilio or whatever, Retardio, or you're a frog coin, or you're the first cat coin like Popcat. Unless you have something specific going for you, you're going to perform probably like the rest of the pack. Right? So it almost pays more attention just to focus on others rather than your specific altcoin a lot of the times. I wanted to talk about a lot of these alts. So we'll start with SUI. Man, I need to clean up this chart. Actually, I haven't looked at this today, so let's take a look. All right. Yesterday, there was some, like, a little bit of fear based on SUI's valuation. People suddenly realizing, okay, SUI's FDV is 20 billion or something like that. How much further can this mark up? One thing that you should note is that 20 billion FDV has been the top, or the local top, on not meme coins, VC coins this entire cycle. Like, TIA topped at 20 billion. ONDO topped at 20 billion, and there's so many other examples. So with SUI trading here once again, the thesis becomes, if this thing can start trading at 25 billion and 30 billion and 40 billion, if that is to occur, that completely re-rates and reprices the rest of the coins in the market. Basically, it increases the ceiling for everything else. Right? If SUI can trade to 30 or 40 billion, well, that just raised the ceiling on all other coins that were stuck at 5 billion and 6 billion and stuff like that. This irrationality in repricing of assets is what creates the bubble, right? It re-rates everyone's mindsets on what is cheap and what is expensive. Oh, if this coin can trade to here, that means my coin can trade to there, right? And that's the title of this stream today, is basically meme coins are doing this. When SPX 6900 starts trading from 9 million and breaks over that threshold that all altcoins get stuck at 300 million, and starts trading at 500 and 600 and 700, 800. Now every other altcoin has a free ride to reprice to. Okay, if SPX 6900 could do it, and that's not that expensive, well, maybe my coin is not that expensive either. That's how these repricings occur. And that's what we're seeing on altcoins right now is the risk appetite is improving because of that repricing and mental repricing. So the thing on SUI right now, it's trending up. It's trending up. There's a very valid argument to make that 20 billion is extremely expensive for this coin. And the upside potential, I don't know what it's trading at. Maybe it's more than 20 at this point, but the upside potential is probably not that great. The evolving R of buying here is probably not that great. But if despite all of that, if we know that, and despite that knowledge, it continues going up, it bodes really well for the rest of the market, right? That's people just not giving a fuck that something is expensive, continuing to bid it up, and re-rating and repricing everything for the rest of the market. So this is my bias point on SUI. As long as we're trading above $2 on the daily, I think this looks good to continue marking up. If this starts trading and holding below $2, right, this will be pretty much confluent with losing the daily trends as well, right? As this comes down, daily trends will mark up. And if we lose the daily and $2, yeah, it's fucked, right? But as long as we're above here, I think it looks solid. I'll quickly power through some of these. RUNE just looks like a banger, right? RUNE is just a coin that does well when Bitcoin does well. And this thing just looks so clean, right? Just SR flip, daily bullish market structure, holding the weekly trends, looks great, right? This is one of those coins that I was talking about earlier in the stream that just chops upwards, right? It's just going to keep going up, but it's just going to be super choppy, right? Until it gets a catalyst or a narrative or starts building some momentum and some fuel where it can start getting expansion. I think this is just going to continue chopping upwards. Tau, I don't really have many thoughts on Tau, to be honest. I'm going to skip this one just because I don't have anything kind of prepared. I don't trade Tau that much. FTM, another really good example of a coin that gets really bullish when the market is bullish, kind of like RUNE. It's another coin that I think is going to continue chopping upwards, right? Reclaiming weekly trends, daily bullish market structure, a lot of chop in this region. I think it just continues to chop upwards. Another dip buying coin, say my favorite of the pack, because I haven't seen a chart structure this beautiful in a long time. I did buy and long a bunch of SAY down here. I've been talking about this one with you guys for like weeks and weeks and weeks. I've been posting this on Twitter. I've been sharing this setup. This is kind of really just the Doc XBT model of how to start a fresh trend, right? Markdown, accumulation range, reclaim weekly trends, reclaim daily trends, put in daily bullish market structure, break out of your accumulation range, right? Looks good. Another coin that's going to chop upwards. SAGA we talked about briefly. The thing that's bullish about SAGA right now is it had this really grindy composite that it built up, and it's expanding away from that. The only thing you don't want to see SAGA do at this point is kind of trade back into here, right? So what is that? 286. I wouldn't want to see SAGA trading back into here, right? As long as we're like, shallow dips, I think this looks good to continue expanding. If it does retrace, it's probably going to come all the way back to the daily trend, right? If it comes back in here, it's probably going to puke a lot lower, and we got to start this whole thing over, which wouldn't be fun. FET, I think it looks really good. As far as AI coins go, I think it looks better than a lot of them. I think it looks better than Render. It definitely doesn't look better than Tau, but what's interesting about FET is it's reclaimed the weeklies. It has daily bullish market structure. It put a deviation at the lows. And if you look at something like Render, which really was the outperformer before when it came to like Render versus FET, this one doesn't look as good, right? Still below the weeklies. Really hasn't done much. So I think FET over Render makes sense. Quickly we'll wrap these up. Near looks good, right? Holding support, daily bullish market structure, trading above the weekly trends. PENDLE, been very vocally bullish on this one. Trading above its SR, reclaiming its weekly, daily bullish market structure. This is even confluent with the yearly VWAP, right? So much confluence in this region. I've been calling for 5. I think it's going to, just chop upwards towards 5. And I'll stop there, right? I think there's a lot of coins that look really, really good. ONDO is probably going to be a slower burn, right? I think it's kind of funny how clean this looks on the listing anchored, but we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I think as far as like RWA coins, if this narrative comes back around again, ONDO looks good, but OHM looks way better. And I don't have a position in OHM, but this thing looks way better than ONDO. Like, Jesus Christ, why didn't I buy some of this? Alright, anyways, let's get back to chat. I think I'm probably going to have a lot of questions in here that I need to catch up on. What do you think of Solana? Everything in the market's so hot, but I just want more hopium for Sol. I mean, Sol is Sol, man. There's nothing like bearish about Sol. There's nothing bad about Sol. It did what Bitcoin did. It held range lows all summer. It held range lows all summer despite all the numerous negative things that happened. We had millions of negative things that happened this summer, just held range low. So if the bears can't do anything, the bulls will wait for a spark, and the bulls will probably do a lot. Do you feel like Trump could dump to 3.5? I hope not. That would look really bad. That would look fucking atrocious, man. Why would we want a coin that put in a range low deviation reclaiming? Why would we want this coin to dump back into this area? I wouldn't want that. I want to see this range low hold around 410 and start marking up. Just to give you a quick rundown, I usually buy alts on high time frame retracements. I like to buy after a low time frame market structure break, 1 to 3 minute with stops below the well, that's your problem, brother. You're looking at high time frame charts and then trading them on low time frame. If you're trading a high time frame chart, you need to be trading with stops on high time frame as well. It's simple as that. You can't go, oh man, like this sweep is bullish, right? Oh my god, we ran the lows, we closed above on the daily, this looks so bullish, I'm aiming for this high, and then come all the way down to the 1 minute chart, right? And be like, oh yeah, like I'm putting my stop under like this low or something like that, and you just miss the whole move because you're trying to like trade a million R trade. So just clean that up and you'll be all right. If that's really your only issue, just stick to the time frame that you're trading. If you have a setup on the daily, right? Have your stops on the daily time frame. Maybe you can bring it down a couple notches, like from daily to 4 hour, but you can't go from high time frame to 1 minute. That's not going to work. Oh my god, how am I going to catch up with chat today? Hey Doc, for the Woo promo, which expires today, is it just a spot trade that can be done for the $100 with no minimum value? I think it's $500. Hold on, I should still have this promo somewhere if I can find it. I'm not gonna be able to find it quickly. It's gonna be very distracting. But I do think it can be any trade. I don't think it has to be on perps. It can definitely be on spot. But double check what the limit is, because I don't remember what the requirement is. I thought it was it's deposit. If I remember correctly, it's sign up with code Paragon. Right, here you go. Sign up to Woo with code Paragon. This expires today, by the way. Deposit $500 and make 1 trade. That's the thing, and then you get $100 for free. Can you explain the entries on a POO? The stops seem so tight. This is something that I prefer to do in Paragon and not in public. I mean, I'm trading along the 4-hour trend, right? So, do I really want to give entry triggers on the public stream and how I do this? I don't know if I want to do that. Can't be giving everything out, but man, here's the thing. We can place our stops underneath this what am I trying to say here? 4-hour trend, right? 4-hour trend or market structure break. You can place your stops there. But if you find a setup on lower time frames within the context of a higher time frame, you can do that. So what someone was saying earlier is like, I take high time frame setups and I put my stops under the 1 minute chart. That's not going to work. But if you're trading a 4-hour chart, and you use a 1 hour setup, like an H4 H1, that's going to work. Or H4 15 minute, that's going to work. But not so dissociated. That's not going to work. Like a daily and a 1 minute's not going to work. I don't think these stops are so tight though. Right? It's first full retracement, closed back above, the weekly closed above our prior swing high, the daily closed back above our prior swing high. Also, this looks a whole lot different on the Bybit chart, which I assume is what people are using, right? Invalidation is basically going to be 4 hour trend loss, and, you know, daily reacceptance below the swing point, right? So we are building value right at the prior highs. If this breaks down, you're pretty much wrong, right? You're going to have to look for a different setup to stay long. If this builds value and breaks up, you're correct, right? So positioning off the range lows or the lows with an invalidation of breaking this structure and expanding to the downside out of this composite is probably, well, it's the way I do it. I'm gonna have to skip through some stuff. Why are you taking SPX and not anything else like Popcat? What? I'm trying to figure out what question you're asking me. Why are you taking SPX and not anything else like Popcat? I'm not sure what that means. Why am I not trading Popcat? I am trading Popcat. I'm not trading SPX and I am trading Popcat. I'm just talking about SPX. Because this was the coin that I think repriced memes. Not Popcat. Popcat has been strong all summer. Popcat had no bearing on the 500 meme coins that we're seeing pop off lately. SPX was that signal for those memes, not Popcat, because Popcat's been strong all year. Would you enter SPX when it is a local top and play second leg up? I'm going to be honest, man. I'm probably not going to play SPX. I'm comfortable just not trading that. And if I miss out on like a billion X, I miss out on a billion X. The thing is, for coins that I don't have high conviction in, I can't size into. So if I'm going to size small into SPX, it doesn't make sense to me. Right? I could make that money elsewhere. Right? If I'm putting 1% of the portfolio in this coin because I don't have conviction in it and it does 100X, well, great, but I could put a lot more money in a different coin and get a, you know, lower return, but still make the same money with less stress. I hope that makes sense. What do you think about USA and GIGA? I have no thoughts on USA. I don't know what that coin is. I mean, GIGA's been strong, I think. Let's take a look. I've been shilled this coin for a long time. I'm just like, here's the thing with memes, guys. What I think people get wrong about memes is they think that their meme is better than another meme, but it's just like, it's a joke or a movie or a song. It's just like preference, right? Some people vibe with some stuff. Some people don't vibe with other stuff. And that's at the end of the day what we're trading here. Some people wear Nike, some people wear Adidas. It ain't that big of a deal. So people get really upset though when you're like, oh, this guy won't buy my meme coins. Like, who gives a fuck, dude? People are buying different meme coins and making the same money. But what do I think about this one? Let's throw some trends on. I mean, this is just choppy. It's not trading well, right? It's not something that I could trade well. This is just spot and hold. If you believe in this coin, you trade market caps. This is a disgusting chart to trade. Right, so this is not a coin that you want to trade. This is a coin that you just want to buy and hold and aim for market cap targets. And the way that you TP something like this is like, okay, we flipped X coin. We flipped this coin. Okay, I'm going to take profits. Okay, we're top 200 by market cap. I'm going to take profits. Okay, we hit 500 million market cap. I'm going to take some profits, right? For dip buying, the daily trend is your friend. Ah, you even asked that. I didn't finish reading your question. For a holding perspective, 3 to 6 months not trading. Again, I have no idea, man. There's so many meme coins. So like, someone asked me, what do you think Giga's gonna do in 3 to 6 months? All I would say is like, look at history. Like, if Giga's been strong and it's been outperforming, it'll probably continue outperforming until it runs into a bunch of supply, meaning people that were in early start taking hefty profits. And there's, you know, The meme is going to be the meme. It's not like there's going to be a fundamental catalyst for this that's going to make it better, you know? It's not like, oh, it's going to get a tech upgrade or it's going to get smart contracts or whatever. There's no like speculative catalyst to fuel this thing. It's just going to be attention and memes and vibes and whatever. So where do I think it's going to be in 3 to 6 months? There's no way for me to tell, brother. It's complete guesswork. My guess is as good as yours. Wojak is still so undervalued. I agree with that, man. I think this coin is tragically undervalued. It's just, it sucks that the kind of Wojak bid is going to the NPC. That's what the market wants to bid. It doesn't want to bid Wojak, and it wants to bid NPC. So more power to NPC, I guess. This thing is ridiculously undervalued, in my opinion. Ridiculously undervalued. A doodle that I drew here. That's really funny. Oh, let's see. I probably got asked about this last week's stream on Monday. So this is where we were. And I said, you probably want to buy the daily trend. And this is kind of crazy. This played out exactly like the doodle. So if I got asked about NPC last week, this was the advice that I gave, is like, this is still just bracketing and ranging. If you want to buy the dip, you buy the dip at daily trends. I circled the place to dip. It dipped right there. I said that, you know, if we break out, all you don't want to see is this retrace back into this consolidation. So it broke out, it's pulling back. You definitely do not want to see it trade back into here, right? Wherever it's at right now needs to be slurped up, right? It needs to be slurped up and continue trending upwards. If this trades back into here, I don't think it looks that good. Can we do some analysis on more fundamentally sound coins like Retardio and Smoking Chicken Fish? Man, I knew that this stream was just going to be all memes. I'm glad that I got some stuff out of the way that I really wanted to talk about as far as high time frame Bitcoin, altcoins, non-meme altcoins, some education stuff. As long as I got that out of the way, I'm happy to look at some kind of like meme coin stuff and hang out and vibe. Can you look at Jupiter? Jupe is just trading in a range, and it's at range lows in my opinion, right? That's the last time I looked at it. Look at these doodles, man. I feel like I hand out, not to like toot my own horn too much, but I hand out a lot of free trades here on streams. If you catch the streams and I make game plans for you guys, man, it's so funny to come back and just look at my doodles, and the doodles just play out the next week. And obviously I don't take the trades because these are coins that you guys want to trade, not me. I have my own coins that I want to trade, but it's so funny to see a lot of these things playing out week to week. Anyways, this is just in a range, right? This is going to break out and do bonkers shit the next time Solana breaks out. So all you're doing on Jupiter is just taking a Solana trade on leverage. So you can like 1.5x or 2x long Solana, or you can buy Jupiter. It's going to probably, you know, normalize the exact same returns. And for that purpose, JTO is the exact same thing as well. It's just trading in a range. It's at range lows. When Solana breaks out, both of these coins are going to break out and do really well. And that's pretty much going to happen when Solana's over this region. Like right around 185. I don't think these highs matter. I don't think this wick matters. Like trading and holding above 185, it probably starts going into price discovery. Not price discovery, but all-time high. Like it takes out the 2021 all-time high. What exchange do you recommend for something like APU and PEPE? APU you could just buy on chain. I think you could buy it on Bybit. But I trade on WU, so that's where I'd recommend. Bro, I deposited $1,000 into WU and traded, did not receive $100. Is because the promotion's not over yet, brother. It ends today. They'll probably pay out today or tomorrow. It's running until October 14th. So today's October 14th. So if you don't get it today, tomorrow, or the day after, then there's an issue, right? You should probably get it a few days after the promotion ends. but definitely not during the promotion. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, you're repeating the question. Why are you taking SPX to the top for memes? I'm saying, okay, so let's do this. This is memes as a whole. This is the whole market of memes. There's a current run of memes happening right here. These are the memes that are in like the, let's call it 10 to $200 million market cap range. These are the coins that have been around for 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever, and they've just kind of been valued in the $10 to $20 million or $10 to $200 million range. These coins are repricing, right? What that means is they've been around long enough, they haven't died, they've had active communities, they've kind of survived the battle of like the coin hasn't gone to zero, it's floating around, people still are bullish on it. These are the coins that are repricing. Out of these coins, the leader of these coins is SPX. These coins do not fit into the PEPE and WULF category. PEPE, WULF, PopCat, these coins are over here, right? PEPE, WULF, PopCat, these are the large cap, bonk, whatever. So this is where SPX is fitting. And I think when SPX is done repricing, which, you know, it'll probably end up in this category by the time it's done repricing. When SPX is done repricing and flattens out and relaxes and tries to find buyers, right? It went from $9 million market cap to whatever it's at right now, 900 million. I don't know what it's at right now. It did like a 50x or 100x or something. Eventually, it's going to put in a top and it's going to retrace and it's going to put in a long range. And when it puts in the top, is probably going to be the top on this category of coins for some time, right? PopCat does not fit into this category, in my opinion. I'm actually kind of surprised with my handwriting right here. I'm doing this with a mouse. It's not bad. This was okay. This is dog shit. This one's not bad. I hope that makes sense. That's just my thesis, by the way, right? I could be wrong on this stuff, but this is how I see the market. What do I think of Lockheed Martin? Frank, I don't know if that's a serious question. What the hell is Lockheed Martin's LMT? Probably a serious question. I don't think you're trolling. Jesus Christ, dude. Why don't I own more stocks? Is this since the financial crisis in 2008, this thing is up. Let's see if our meme coins beat this. Ah, it's up a 10x. Okay, we're not far off. Here's the thing, Frank, that I want to say quickly. The system that I use to trade crypto does not work as well on stocks that are not crypto stocks. So like it'll work well on like a Coinbase or a miner stock or whatever, but it's not going to work well on like non-crypto coins that are not like in this bull market mania. My system actually works really well on like Nvidia and like Tesla because those are super speculative, right? And they fit into that crypto category. I'm probably not going to be able to give you like a decent take on Lockheed other than it's probably going to continue going up. And I know that's such a like a cop-out answer, but I wouldn't trade this because I wouldn't have an edge trading Lockheed because I don't understand the fundamentals that are driving price. I don't understand who the buyers are. I don't understand what the fundamentals, the catalysts, or anything are on this coin, or not this coin, this stock, this company. Lockheed is U.S. defense, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it's probably going to be fueled by war. So you're basically trading war here. The more that war escalates, the stronger this coin's going to be. And let's see when this breakout happened in July, right? So wasn't that right around Israel, Iran part 1? Look at July, right? This is April. So kind of around that time is building up into that. It's a tough one for me, man. Thoughts on credible short on WIF looking for $1? His hit rate has been insane lately. David, I honestly and respectfully do not care about other traders. Right? I really, there's very few, maybe there's like 3 or 4 traders that I actually care about their opinions on. But when people tell me this guy is long and this guy is short, they could be my close friends, right? I have friends in Discord where I see the opposite of them many times. They're short, I'm long, they're short, whatever. And it's fine, right? We all see the market in different ways. We all trade in different ways. We all have our invalidations in different ways. We're all managing our risk in different ways. If we all copy one another and doubt our own abilities and skill sets based on what someone else is going to do, we're just simply not going to make it. So when someone comes to me and asks me, what do you think about X trader's trade? My answer is always going to be more power to them. I hope they make money. But I'm never going to give you a take on what they're seeing because I have no idea what they're seeing, right? I see coins my way. I'm not going to see it their way. But more power to them. Do I think, now that probably leads to your next question. Do I think WIF's going to $1? No, I don't. I'm sorry if I'm skipping questions, guys. I'll never get caught up with chat if I read every single one. I have a feeling MOG is the first culture meme coin, and being a cat coin gonna blast through all-time high and catch up with Popcat soon. My thoughts on MOG is like, it's very confusing because they have like an identity shift. I traded MOG when it came out week 1. And week 1, MOG was a Milady coin with Milady memes and smoking crack pipes. And the memes that you would see on CT were literal like crack pipes in people's mouths. Right? And the sunglasses, whatever they're called. That was the MOG meme for months. I don't know when they pivoted to cats. I don't know how that happened or when that happened, but they just suddenly started with the cat laughing emoji and the pointing. And that was a complete like meme shift, right? That was not what the meme was originally. It was a lot of like John McAfee memes. If you know who John McAfee is, that guy was like the face of MOG. They would just meme him. They would meme him with crack pipes and hookers and whatever. And that was the meme. So is it a cat coin? It's like a pseudo cat coin. It's very weird, man. I don't really have any strong thoughts on MOG other than it's a very confusing one. Okay, can you look at CPOOL? All right, cool. Oops. Lo and behold, a doodle from another stream. All right. Let's take a look at some trends. So it never gave a retest of where I would have loved it to give a retest. It kind of just shot from one side of this range to the other side. Compressed against resistance. Big blast through. From here, the next line in the sand, just like it was for here, right, is going to be, what is this, 18.6. So holding above 18.6, continuation, dropping back below 18.6, probably invalidation. To simplify this with new information, we can clean all this up and make some fresh plans. I'd basically say you don't want this to trade under here anymore. Right? If you're looking for continuation on CPOOL, basically this momentum spark should be like this should be the retrace. That bounce right there should be the retrace, right? And it should kind of hold value in this region and continue to mark up. Let's go, Nexus. You know what I actually have on? You'd like this. I have the Blade Runner 2049 like lo-fi cyberpunk synthwave playlist playing on in the background. I actually can't hear it because I don't have my headphones on. I really hope I don't get copy struck for some of this music. Do you consider checking USDT to back your analysis? No, but I use Bitcoin dominance a lot. I use Bitcoin dominance. I use Sol BTC or Sol ETH, right? Specifically Sol ETH. Whenever Sol ETH is up, altcoins are pretty much doing well. When Sol ETH are down, altcoins are doing tragically. I look at others a lot as like kind of my meme coin, or I guess it is meme coin index, but it's the altcoin index. I don't look at USDT that often. I'll give you a good take on Lockheed. As someone who owns a good chunk of shares on it, I'm selling as soon as Trump gets inaugurated. Interesting take. So I guess that's like a political trade where you think that maybe Trump de-escalates wars and that's bearish for defense companies. Something like that. Jingo, I'm not going to read that out loud, but I see your comment. I'm getting close. I think I'm getting close to catching up on chat almost. MicroStrategy, kind of funny seeing a bunch of like stuff. Oh my god. I saw a pretty good take on MicroStrategy by a friend of mine that was basically saying something that he's speculating on MicroStrategy getting added to the NASDAQ, which is why it's doing so well. I don't know how credible that is, and I don't know, how strong his thesis is, but that was the thesis that he had. And he's pretty decent when it comes to like fundamental takes. So something to think about, right? Maybe that's why MicroStrategy is outperforming Bitcoin so much right now. It's the insider trade or the speculation trade that it's going to be added to the NASDAQ. But I mean, it looks good, right? Like big range breakout. Like that's really all you need to say. Big, massive range breakout. You're in validation for MicroStrategy. You just basically don't want to see it trade back into here. You don't want to see it trade back into this range because that opens up the possibility for it to trade all the way back into this area. So if you're longing, right, or buying or whatever, buy a pullback, invalidation, reaccepting back into range. Even a perfect retest would kind of be shit. But then again, I don't trade stocks that much, so I don't know how well they respect kind of the way that I trade crypto. Sam asked me about Athena earlier. Okay, so the most bullish thing about Athena right now, actually, let's put on the listing anchored. Oops, wrong thing. Okay, so the most bullish thing about Athena right now is that it's currently above the daily trend, which we like to see. It crossed bullishly, and we're in daily bullish market structure, right? So I would say for Athena, dips are for buying. Dips are for buying, and your target in the interim is something like the listing anchored, which is around 60 to 70 cents. Obviously, range high is going to be a resistance, but what's most bullish is flipping the daily trend and having this current local daily bullish market structure of higher highs and higher lows. CPOOL actually one of the better RWA other than Ohm and ONDO. Yeah, I know. People love CPOOL when the markets go risk on. When Moon, Charlie, when Moon, the best question, the most fundamental question you can ask. When Moon, I think soon. I think soon. And I was saying that I know you're just memeing, but for anyone who joined the stream late and missed my thoughts, by the way, if you miss anything on the stream, feel free to come back tomorrow. Things will be timestamped so you can kind of flip around to the location of, you know, what you're interested in, whether it's a coin or thoughts on something or another. But I think the thing that crypto's missing right now is just a spark. It's just a narrative. That's what crypto's missing. And I think the first one that comes along that's decently viable will get this thing really moving. That's really what's left right now, is just a narrative for crypto, a narrative for Bitcoin. Because I do think the bears have, I mean, they've done a lot to alts. They haven't done a lot to Bitcoin. They've done a lot to alts, and those alts are bottoming out. A lot of them are bottoming out. Some have put in new all-time highs, Popcat, Sui, etc. A lot of them are breaking out of accumulation ranges, right? And it's the risk appetite is coming back. Meme coins are coming back. So the setup is there. When Moon, I think that happens when we get a narrative. We just need a narrative. Okay, I think I almost caught up. Sorry if I missed your guys' questions, but I would not be able to get through everything anymore. That's probably one of the downfalls of the stream growing, is like I'm not gonna be able to read everyone's questions anymore. Hey, by the way, I never asked this, but if you guys watch the stream and you're not subbed, can you guys hit the subscribe button? That'd be super sick. I think when I look at like stats on the stream, I think like 80% of the people that watch the stream are subbed, which is so sick, but like 20% aren't. So if you're one of those 20 and you haven't subbed but you watch the stream, hit the sub, man. That'd be sick. Maybe the next narrative is whoever wins as president. Yeah, I think so. I think that's a decent one. I think if Trump wins, it could be a big spark in the short term. If Kamala Harris wins, short term may not be that great, but I don't think it affects the overall, like, anything on crypto. That's my contrarian take on the presidency. A lot of people think that if Kamala gets elected, crypto just goes to zero or doesn't have a bull market or whatever. I think it's very mid-curve thinking. I think crypto goes up anyways. I think all it does is affect very short-term price action. That's yeah, decent insight, Daniel. My whole justification for buying Lockheed was, I don't know, Biden will probably start more wars than zero. That's incredible. All right. We're caught up with chat for the first time ever. An hour and a half into the stream. Let's take a look at... Oh, sorry for blinding people there. Let's take a look at Spaghetti today. I haven't updated Spaghetti in a minute. Oh, I haven't talked about WorldCoin, have I? This is something I'm long right now. I tweeted out last night, which is funny. I didn't get that many people interested in this one, but the setup on WorldCoin was incredible, right? Breaking over resistance, right? Really strong daily level. Really strong daily level. Look at the rejections here. Last night, or at the weekly open, daily open, blasted through this, blasted through the downtrending daily 200, or daily 100, excuse me. Gave me a little bit of a pullback, which I'll highlight in a minute. Really strong invalidations, and opens up the gap fill all the way into the daily 200. So I do think this continues grinding upwards towards 275, but if you caught this move, which, you know, I did, I took a little bit of profits this morning, just because it was up like 16% or something on the day. It was up some ridiculous amount. So I did take some profits, but I will be compounding those. If this kind of, you know, it's doing a range like this, if it gets like a big puke, something like that, can add to the position, raise my stops all the way up, and continue playing trend continuation. So I think this one looks really solid. These are my favorite type of plays, is kind of like range reclaim trades or like breakout trades in the environment that we're in. I love these, love these type of trades. You see me like hunting these all over the place. WorldCoin good or bad for Trump tokens? I have no idea, man. That's a wild question. Yo, thank you, Rocky. All right, I'm gonna get a sip of water. Powering through today. Let's take a look at WIF. Thoughts on WIF. Okay. So, whenever a coin starts to base out like this, right? Big markup, right? Kind of failed or whatever you would call this, complacency shoulder, markdown, right? This is the bears in control. Bears can mark this down as brutally as they want. They're in control of the market, right? When downside momentum begins to wane, right? I can show you this in reverse on like a bullish coin. When downside momentum begins to wane and starts to round out, and you get extremely bad news, right? Which we did right here, which was the Japan yen carry trade macro, equity indexes dropping 10, 12, 15% very quickly, a lot of macro FUD, and then you just start holding this level, right? You SFP the lows, you start holding this level, you basically put in a low volatility range at the range lows. This entire thing is very classic accumulation. Now, where is it trading? Right, I mean, it sweeped equal highs, right? High here, ran the highs. Could this be a local top? Absolutely could be a local top. Absolutely could be a local top. But do I think that this is going to revert and go back down to here? I don't. I personally do not see it. I personally do not see it. Is that a trade that I'd be willing to take, right? If I am, I'm going to know that I'm wrong very quickly. So for anyone shorting this, they go, okay, here's my entry. Here's my tight stop, right? I don't want to see this reaccept above 290. I'm wrong if it trades above 290, and I'm going to take a short, and I'm going to aim for 0. Okay, more power to you, because you know where you're wrong very quickly. You know if this price starts trading above here, you're incorrect. Your idea was incorrect. You think this is a range-bound asset. It's now trading above range highs, holding above range highs. You probably don't want to be in this short anymore. What I think is a much more responsible short is probably shorting back into the trend that's carrying you. So here's our daily trend, holding a support. If this is a local top, shorting here and aiming for the daily trend is a better trade, right? Right? If you're shorting, you take profits into the daily trend. If you lose the daily trend, lose market structure and break market structure, and then bearishly reject this and put in a lower high, you take another trade. You short it back down, right? Unironically, level to level. I don't think you aim for a complete, like you're hero balling the top. I think that's tougher to do in the environment, in like a grind up environment, right? Wild's crazy tokenomics aren't a consideration in terms of the spot buy. I'm not buying it on spot. I'm just trading it. But yeah, I would assume so. I think the valuation is nutty. Probably can't sustain. Probably one of the coins that bleeds out 95% or something in a bear market. All right, I saw you asking about W twice. Take a look. Yeah, I think W looks all right. So here's the range that you're playing. At the lows, another classic example of downside momentum waning, right? Rounding off at the lows, putting in fresh daily bullish market structure, trading into the highs, reclaiming the daily downtrend, flipping the daily bullish, now kind of trading above the weekly. We don't have the daily 200, so we don't have that information yet. But looks fine for now, right? Looks fine for now. Easy invalidations on trend loss. Probably can continue marking up from where it's at the moment. AR. I have an alert on AR that I don't think went off. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah. Wait, I don't have an alert on this? Put the alert back on. It actually, yeah. I was looking for AR. Like, a lot of people were very bullish on AR up here right into the weekly downtrend. Like, I saw a lot of bull posting on this. This is not a structure that I can be bullish on yet. It doesn't have daily bullish market structure, right? It's still in a downtrend. It hasn't reclaimed the weeklies. It hasn't traded above the dailies. It doesn't look like one of those coins that fits my criteria yet, but what it does have is waning downside momentum, right? These are all lower highs, but look where it's basing out every single time. It's kind of rounding out in this region. So it's a matter of time until this starts unwinding to the upside. It just ain't there yet. Thoughts on KHAI? Well, if Charlie's still in the stream, I'm going to show Charlie because he's been murdering this coin for a long time. KHAI, I mean, I think Charlie nailed like a 50x on this coin or something, even more probably earlier in the year. But yeah, here you go. I don't think I even need to give you thoughts at this point. I think you guys know what I'm going to say. It's already charted. Trading at range highs, holding daily trend, holding weekly trend. The last thing it needs to do is break out of this range and hold above the range, right? So the range high is around 60 cents. Break above 60, hold above 60, don't drop back underneath 60. Probably looks good for an expansion trade. Art on memes and tech on altcoins is tracked. I love that. Yeah. The tech is improving. I bought the lows again at 20 cents. Motherfucker. It was already up another 3x, so that's a compounded probably fucking 300x for you. if you sized in the same way again, which if I had to put words in your mouth, you probably didn't put all your gains back in. But if you did, what a fucking monster. We talked about WULF on stream, I believe, last week or the week before, and I basically said I would buy the next daily trend tag, which is what I did. So I picked up a position on WULF. The thing that I'm doing that's kind of dumb, which I don't ever usually do in my equities portfolio, I'm actually not that degenerate in my equities portfolio when it comes to just buying stuff, because, you know, it's the retirement account. I want to be a little bit more responsible. I have a long time before I can touch this. But I haven't done any fundamental analysis on this coin at all. I'm simply trading it or buying it because it's a crypto related coin with really good structuring and really good trends. So one to watch out for if you trade equities. You will love the structure on STRKnet. Only a matter of time before. Okay, let's see. What's the STRKnet? STK? I don't know. Okay, STRKnet. STRK. Okay. Which? Let's do the Coinbase. Yeah. Yeah. This is a coin that I like. So this is August. We're in October. 2 months of putting in a bottom, right? You'll know very quickly where you're wrong if this continues to break down. If this starts holding under 34 cents, if this starts holding under 34 cents, you know you're wrong, right? You play this in multiple ways, right? If you bought the lows, right, it trades below here, you de-risk. If it puts in something like this and it reclaims, right, you can buy back and add back on the size. You know, you basically manage your risk, and you don't want to hold a bleeder to zero. This deviation becomes your invalidation. You buy the reclaim, you play the breakout, right? It looks solid, man. I think it's a good eye. Probably a coin that I want to put on my watch list. In fact, I'll do that right now. STRK USDT. Nance perps. Sick. I'll keep an eye on this. Move it to the top. Move it to the top, and then I'm going to put an alert here because... And then we'll do this squiggly, and we'll come back to this in a few weeks or possibly longer, right? This is what I think is going to play out. Daily 100 is going to keep coming down. This will compress under range highs. You get a breakout. You get a shallow pullback. The next target's going to be literally, unironically, all the way up here. Let's see where the listing anchored is. Look at that. Confluence. Listing anchored, daily 200, right? This is your trade. We'll come back to this in a few weeks and see how it played out. I love how Doc calls stocks coins too. It's just, it's cemented in my vocabulary, dude. I can't break the habit at this point. It's gonna be way too hard. Have you looked at PHB? I have not. I don't think that's a coin that I'm even familiar with, sir. Is the Clinic Daily exactly the same as Bitcoin's, as Charlie's macro trend scanner? It might be slightly different, but essentially it's the same. I believe his trend scanner is the daily 1221 EMA, if I'm not mistaken, which mathematically is very similar to the 4-hourly 100, 4-hourly 200. It's almost the same mathematical figure. Might be slightly different. And do you get all the clinic indicators when you join Paragon? Yeah, you get mine, which are the EMAs, and then you get all of the Paragon indicators, which are numerous. Let's see if we have new spaghettis in the works too, guys. So watch out for these, sector by sector. This isn't out yet, but these are gonna be this is a killer. So you'll get the new meta spaghettis, which break down by sector, right? You'll get the OG spaghetti. Well, I think this one, Charlie might even have this one publicly. VWAP scans, my template, low time frame trading, Charlie's templates, Magus's templates, all the indicators, all the Paragon indicators. Man, there's so much. What up, Nick? What up, brother? 1225 EMA? Yeah, there you go. How much do you tend to cover percent-wise on a strong day when you compound? I always have to think about, like, if I want to answer very specific questions about my trading on the public streams or not, but let's just put it this way. It depends. It depends on the environment we're in. It depends on the high time frame picture on coins. It depends on if I would be comfortable round tripping or not. If we're in a range-bound environment, it's going to be 100% take profits. If we're trading into a very significant region on high time frame after an expansion, very significant profits, if not all, like it's going to be 100%. If we're in a trending environment, right, and I believe, you know, certain coins are, right? So if you look at like how I've been trading a POO, for example, where is this chart? I'm not taking full profits on these trades. I'm leaving runners all the times, but I am paying myself pretty heftily every time I get one of these. So it's a mixed bag. If I believe something has the ability to absolutely go nuts, right? I'm leaving runners. So if I look at a daily chart on something and I go, damn, that's a crazy range low reclaim, and I'm longing here and I'm doing the responsible thing of taking profits, but I also understand the high time frame picture, I'm going to leave runners, and then I'm going to look to compound. If I don't see this picture, I'm absolutely not doing this, right? So when I took trades down here on a POO, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to reclaim. So this could reject and just go back out to zero. I'm taking profits up here. When we break out and reclaim, I adjust my invalidations, I add back on size. When we're trading in the middle of this thing, I leave runners. So it really depends on the environment, man. I love to hear that, Junior. It's pretty cool. Nah, the Haven's sick too, man. Lot of fucking legends in there. Pierre, I learned so much from Pierre, man. Always got to show him love anytime I get the opportunity to. I learned a lot about trading trends, and basically, you know, his system is what allowed me to evolve my own trading and get more of the meat of the move on trending assets. I was way too much of a take profit maxi, which is not a bad thing because I, you know, went full-time trading in 2022, and we all, maybe not all, but if you remember what 2022 was like, you wanted to be a take profit maxi, you know. But as the environment shifted, you know, you kind of want to see your ideas play out, and Pierre's system, learning from him at least, really helped me develop my own system that allowed me to extract a lot more value. So yeah. What is the weekly trend indicator? Which EMAs is that? Daily 100, daily 200. I made all my money by selling early. I don't know if that's like sarcasm or if that's like I don't know what that is, man. But yeah, I mean, if you take profits, you're making money. I don't know what you're trying to say about that. Thoughts on meme? We'll do a few more coins. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You probably have this set up to trade a little bit higher. One sec. Depends on today's daily close. Yeah. So if this kind of drops all the way back in under 13.5, it's not going to look fantastic. If it holds above this, you have a decent trade opportunity to play trend continuation. Any advice on sizing on a reclaim? Sizing is not something that there are... How do I say this? Sizing is very specific to the individual trader based on their risk tolerance, based on their cash flow, income, money in the bank. There's so much involved in sizing. How much is your perp portfolio compared to your spot portfolio? Are you only trading coins? Do you also have long-term bags? Are you... There's so much to sizing, brother. There's no way for me to answer that question. Realistically, there's like no way for me to answer that question. The one thing I will say is on certain setups, I'm going to be betting a lot harder. On other setups, I'm going to be betting a lot less. There are setups that I consider S tier where I'm willing to see them out and bet a lot more. And if I'm incorrect, I'm going to lose more, but I'm comfortable with that risk tolerance. I'm comfortable with that RR. I'm comfortable with that because I know that certain setups are only going to appear maybe once a quarter, right? And when they do appear, I have enough experience to know that they have a higher hit rate. So when they come, I want to take advantage of them. There's other setups that appear every week or every day or every hour, and their hit rate is going to be a little bit lower. They're going to be maybe 65% hit rate. Am I going to be betting as big every single day on those setups? No. So that's one thing that's there for me personally. When I get gap fill setups on coins that I think are at least in narrative, or you know, around it, I'm gonna bet a lot bigger. So like the wild setup, the APU setup, the Trump setup, right? Those are ones that I take a little bit more risk on, versus something that I'm gonna be trading every single day. Did you cover Pepe, bro? I actually didn't. And you know what's funny is I haven't been covering Pepe almost at all for several months, because it's my kind of thesis that Pepe's gonna do the nutty trade next year. As the biggest Pepe bull, you know, I honestly think this is going to PvP some people for a lot longer than they can imagine. I think people are going to position way too early, get way too chopped, and get time-based capitulated out of their positions before this thing is getting ready to move and do the next markup. Because that's the way things happen when they become consensus. The market has a very fun way of shaking people out that have high conviction in something, because not everyone can win. The markets are they're a zero-sum game, right? In order for someone to win, someone else has to lose. So when something like Pepe becomes consensus, you have to shake out those people and divert their money across the market. You have to kind of distract them, and other meme coins and other things and this and that, and Pepe's taking too long and it's trading like a dud. Oh, maybe it's topped. These things need to happen. So I just have this kind of baseline idea that Pepe probably doesn't go God mode until next year. I think Q1 is much more of a better target for this thing to do the price discovery trade part 2 or part 3 even, versus somewhat soon. So I haven't focused on Pepe. I haven't traded Pepe that much, taken a couple of them. But yeah, man, I'm just spot and chill on this one. I added a lot more size back into Pepe after selling pretty much the top 2 times. This thing has been a dream come true for me over the last year, just, you know, simply because of the conviction I had. You know, holding in this range was not fun. It really wasn't fun. There was a lot of FUD going on in Pepe. Selling this top, because I was euphoric and we lost the 4-hour trend. You know, I've talked about that many times on stream. Buying this back as the first test of the weekly. Selling this when it became the consensus trade on CT. The people who were not supporting Pepe from this entire thing suddenly started championing Pepe. And this was only a 2x away from flipping SHIB. So if my target is flipping SHIB, and the upside is only a 2x, but the downside could be 80%. That doesn't make sense from a risk-reward perspective. So, yeah, I've just gone back to accumulating Pepe, and I'm just going to be spot and chill for some time. And I'm probably not going to trade this one because I know how PvP Pepe can be before it's ready to really make a move. Wavy, I took a setup on WorldCoin last night, which I tweeted out. I tweeted this one out. Very simple trade, daily level, right? Daily resistance, daily 200, breakout on the hourly, right? High expansion candle, breakout on the hourly, retrace, invalidation under the breakout, buy the pullback, you know, TP1 mid-range. Right, so traded right into mid-range, took the profits. Talked about this one a little bit. If it does something like this, where it consolidates a little bit longer, puts in a puke, you know, trades back into value, I think it's ready to mark up once again to the 270s towards the range highs. So that's the only trade that I'm in today. I've been trading a poo every day, but you know, this one, you know, you can't really size into this one. This one's really liquid, so it's like a smaller size position, but these are the only 2 trades I'm in. The other one that I was wanting to trade last night was Ethereum. I did not pull the trigger in the same fashion I did on WorldCoin. So like I thought about this exact same setup of breaking out over daily trend, breaking out over range highs, getting the pullback. I didn't pull the trigger in here just because it was a Sunday night, and I was like, do I want to open up another position, and especially on ETH? So a little bit in my own head, didn't take this long. Literally almost played out towards target overnight, which is insanity. So a little bit of regret there, but yeah. I haven't posted many setups on CT over the last, like, I'm talking about intra-week setups, not high time frame setups, but I pretty much haven't posted kind of like intraday, intra-week setups on CT in a long time. I've gotten away from that because realistically, guys, people don't give a shit. Like, I posted the WorldCoin setup last night to 30 likes. I post a meme, I get 200 likes, right? So the algo and what people actually want to vibe with is just they want to have fun on CT. So I see that and I go, I don't really want to share setups on CT anymore. But that's like, I share them on streams, right? We've done plenty of setups today on coins. So if you missed those, definitely, you know, you can go back and watch tomorrow when it all gets timestamped. I still don't trust this move up. Something feels off. Capo indicator is working. Did he say that today? Capo's the best, man. We love Capo. Capo's playing a very fun game. He's playing a very, very fun game. But all right, we'll probably wrap it up there. If you guys have any last minute questions that I can answer, happy to do so for the next couple minutes. Otherwise, we'll probably call it there. We've been going for 2 hours. Timothy, I like how Capo turned bullish the last few months. In the last 2 weeks, he turned bearish. Brother, he does it on purpose. He does it on purpose. He's not as dumb as people think. He's actually playing a different game than the rest of the people. It wasn't obvious to me at first, but it became much more obvious. Favorite donut? Oh my god, maple glazed. I don't eat donuts often, but maple glazed, man. Thanks, boys. Thank you. Thank you. When Doc XBT on WooX social trading? I don't know if that's going to happen, man. I don't, like, I mean, I'm trading in World Series of Trading right now, so it's like publicly trading, but I don't feel like I should be rewarding people for copy trading me. I don't know, man. I'm very, like, you've heard me maybe on stream 100,000 times before saying that I'm not a fan of copy trading. I would never copy trade someone else. I think that's the worst way to learn. And the incentive structure for doing a copy trading service doesn't make sense. Unless I'm trading someone's like $1 million stack and I'm making 10% of the gains, it doesn't make sense. If I open up copy trading and people put like $100 in an account, why am I trading for other people for pennies on the dollar? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So when people do this like social copy trading stuff, I just go, I don't know. It's just a clout thing more than anything else. And I don't really care for that, but I'm happy to do trading competitions if that ever, like, but that's a different incentive structure. I get to actually like compete and like aim for something and feel some sense of satisfaction. But if people are just like, dude, I'm giving you money, trade for me, just like, what's in it for me? Thanks, Nexus. When is retail coming? I think they're already here, man. I think they've been here for a minute. Do you use OI flows? Yeah, I do. Only on low time frame though. Only when only on intraday trading though. If I'm ever trading intraday, yeah, absolutely. What's for dinner tonight? Man, I don't know. My girlfriend's out of town, so I've been eating out the last few days. Last night I had ramen. The day before I had a sandwich from a local shop. Today I don't know, man. Maybe I should be healthy and cook for myself, but I'll probably order something again. How do you set up the ticker titles at the bottom? It's an indicator. It's called the trader watermark. It'll be in there. Yeah, that also opens up stuff. So if I'm trading size and everyone can see my positionings, that's like, how is that high EV? That's like negative EV. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the kind words. Thoughts on Ring of Power? Okay, so I actually have thoughts on this. When I started that show, like season 1, so I'm not, okay, one thing about me, I'm not a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I've never read the books or anything like that. I've watched the movies. I watched them when I was a little bit older. I watched them when I was like 18, like not when I was a kid when they came out. And like it was good. Like I like it, but I'm not like a massive fan or anything like that. So when I watched Rings of Power, I didn't have that same like emotional response to it. And I was just like, this is just some other, high budget fucking, whatever show, right? Like, I'll just give it a chance. I watched it. I didn't mind season 1 that much. Like, I didn't love it, but I didn't mind it. I was like, people hated it. And I was like, I don't know if I hate it, but it's, it's not the best show ever, but it's passable. I can watch this once a week. Who cares? While eating dinner with my girlfriend. Who cares? Whatever, something like that. Season 2 was atrocious, though. I couldn't finish it. I was like 5 episodes into season 2, and I was like, I can't watch this show anymore. So, season 1, passable. Season 2, unbearable. Yeah, so trash. Yeah, man. I think season 2 was just abysmal. Like, can't even... I don't even know how I powered through 5. Speaking of TV shows, though, guys, Penguin is kind of a banger. I watched only the first 2 episodes of that, but I fuck with that. That one's sick. If you haven't seen The Penguin on HBO, check that one out. I hope it keeps getting better, because 2 episodes in got me hooked. But anyways, that's where I'll leave you guys. I'll see you next week on the next stream. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it like always. I'll leave you with a banger. And if you do want to check out Paragon, there's a link in the description. I'll see you guys next time.